Former Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez has been released from a U.S. prison after being pardoned by Donald Trump. Hernandez was serving a 45-year sentence in the U.S. for trafficking cocaine. And President Trump described the conviction as a Biden administration setup. Mr. Hernandez, who was in office from 2014 until 2022, has always denied his conviction for importing around 400 tons of cocaine into America. Well, journalist Fritz Pinnow is in the Honduran capital, Tegucigalpa. Welcome back, Fritz. How has the news of the former president's release gone down there?
I would say it's a very bitter taste that this is leaving behind. People can still not really believe it. When the news came in today in the morning, people here are very much confused about why Trump would pardon him as a token of support to the right-wing National Party, which has tried to separate themselves from him, especially during this election campaign. But it's also a huge blow to a country that has a rate of impunity of around 90%. This means that around 90% of the criminal cases here in the country are never solved. So people don't really trust their own judiciary system. So the extradition and trial in the US were highly respected, and people trusted the US judicial process more than their own. And this pardon, which also, by the way, does not erase the verdict that he was found guilty of trafficking drugs and weapons, sends not only the message that the US judicial system is in trouble, but also that a president with US support can do anything and get away with it, basically.
Okay. Pardoned, not exonerated. Remind us how he came to be arrested.
Well, it all started when US authorities arrested his brother at an airport in Miami when he stepped on US soil and was charged with drug trafficking charges and found eventually trialed and found guilty. And people in Honduras went to the streets because it was just impossible to believe that Juan Orlando in his presidency wouldn't know what his own brother was up to. And he just said, I didn't know. We weren't raised this way. That was his defense at the time. And well, when he lost when the party lost the elections in 2022, he was then finally extradited to the US and then trialed. There were rumors at the time that he would try to escape, right? But it seems that he was confident in his defense. But this current government, for example, extradited him at that time.
And what sort of president was he?
Well, drug trafficking and weapons trafficking is just one of a laundry list of different things that he was accused of, right, during his presidency. He changed the constitution to run for a second term, for example. When there, he was accused as well of electoral fraud and declared himself the winner in the second term. The UN voiced their concerns about those elections, for example, but then he was backed by the US and went on for that second term. He was accused of making a deal with the MS-13 when the MS-13 leader here in Honduras, El Porqui, managed to escape from the judicial system. And also massive corruption cases that he was accused of handling and dealing with. For example, during COVID, when a lot of money was stolen from mobile hospitals that were supposed to help the population, with the issue of COVID.
And so now this has happened, the pardon has been issued. People will wonder, well, what is the rationale behind a US president waging a supposed war against Latin American narco-terrorists, who then goes on to pardon a former Latin American president who was convicted of helping smuggle 400 tons of cocaine?
Well, this goes to show again that the war on drugs is routinely kind of instrumentalized to destabilize the region, also instrumentalized as, you know, who can I pick to label and to fight, right? Trump is basically selecting, right, who can be excluded from this narrative and who can I tag with that narco label and persecute to great lengths. You know, if he was really serious about this, he would not have happened. This would not have happened this way, or at least not this quickly, right? But it just seems that it's allowing him to pick and choose who he wants to persecute and who not.
Thank you, Fritz. Journalist Fritz Pinnow in Tegucigalpa.
Thank you very much.